Hi, it's Lee here. Now, I'm a composer and an audio producer, but many people don't understand what I do for work and don't understand what my job is or how I spend my time. And everybody tries to make a judgment based on your job or what you do, what your profession is. And so when people can't put you into a box or a category, it does cause confusion. So this video will address that. And also, I met up with some YouTubers recently and ended up talking about music and music use on YouTube and how composers of stock music are getting a really sort of bad end of the deal. And what became really apparent there to me was that YouTubers don't realize this. Most of the time, they've no reason to know what happens at the other end of the music that they're getting. They just know that they're getting music for a price that suits them, and that's where it stops. But then when I had discussions with a number of YouTubers, it became clear that they weren't aware of the things that are happening in the music industry. So on that note, as I've said, I am a composer and an audio producer. So what does that mean in 2021? Well, the thing is, being a composer sort of conjures up many images in people's minds. So quite often people still, even now, think that I'm sat in a dark room with a quill scoring on manuscript. And yeah, I'm sure there's people that still do that kind of thing. Possibly more so with computers now than handwriting it, but that is not what I do. There's many aspects of being a composer. So I compose using computers and samples and real instruments where I can, and I'm a stock music composer. So unlike many other areas of the music industry, for instance film composers, where they will actually get commissioned to write the music for a film, and their whole sort of time and existence for a period of time and a set budget will be on that film, and they will be working just to create exactly what the director wants for the film. That's not where I am. I wouldn't mind going there, and I'm happy, open to commissions, but that's not my area of music. I'm a stock music composer. So what that means is you write music in a variety of styles, and then you distribute them onto a number of libraries online. I have 2 of my own, but then you try and get them on as many other libraries as you can. But you have to be careful now of the deal, because there's lots of deals that basically screw the composer, and we need to make an income out of this, and we can't when people are being unfair with their deals. So I'll come to that later. But back to what I have to do. I have to write music as often as I can. So I try to avoid getting distracted with too many other things these days. So I have to write music. I have to come up with the idea. I have to create the piece of music. I have to mix the music myself, and then I have to do the production on the music, and then I have to distribute the music as well. I do have some help doing that, the distribution, but the creation of the music and all the aspects of mixing it and producing it are all down to me. Now, with stock music, the reality these days is you get small amounts of money from lots of places. Now, we'll come on to this later, but the amounts of money have got much smaller over the years. But generally, the idea is you have lots of small amounts of money coming in all the time from music that you've written, and music that's out there being used in videos, in YouTube, on TV, in adverts, and all different places where music can be used. Now, the challenge is to create lots of music, because it's about how many tracks you have. If you spend 6 months writing 2 fantastic tracks of music and then you put them out into the world, the chances of you making any money are quite low, really, because your 2 tracks will be lost in the sea of thousands and thousands and thousands of tracks. So you'd be lucky to get either of those tracks picked up. So what you have to do is create as many tracks as possible, and I'm trying to get to a point where I can write and produce and finish a track a day. And if I could do more than that, that would be better. But you know, at the moment I'm sort of trying to get from taking 3, 4, 5 days to create a track to sort of getting fast enough to do one a day. And I need to do this to survive, because we need to have, as composers in stock music, we need to have lots of music out there that's potentially going to get licensed and used at any moment. So if we've got sort of 1,000 tracks out there, and we're adding to it maybe sort of 5 a week, let's say 20 a month or 30 a month if you can, then you've got a good chance of making some money. But if you're not doing that, then it gets difficult, because there's a lot of choice now and there's lots of competition. Now, coming on to the costs of music and how many composers are getting screwed. In the old days, the standard price for a piece of stock music was around about $30. Composers would typically get 50% whenever that's sold. So you would give your music to a library, and if they sell it, they'd give you 50% of the fee. Then what's happened over the years is that libraries are giving composers less, so you know, down to 20%, 30%, 35%. So it depends on the library really. And so you're getting a smaller percentage of the money, but then many libraries have reduced the prices. Now, I agree with this in many respects, because YouTubers aren't going to pay $30 per track of music. You know, a corporate video maker that's doing a video for a client that's a business is happy to generally pay that kind of money, and has been historically for many years. Advertisers are happy to pay more because the music's been sort of exposed on media such as TV, and you know, those adverts now you see in front of you, YouTube videos, somebody's paying to have those adverts put there, and they're happy to pay more for the music because they expect to. It's always been the case. But YouTubers don't want to pay money for you know, music, and if they do, they don't want to pay too much money, and that's understandable. So I think the industry hasn't catered for those people sufficiently, and what we need to do is offer lower prices for those people. But the problem is some libraries have gone too far, and they offer the music for a subscription, say £10 a month, and you can download as many tracks as you like. Now the problem there is, somebody even downloads, you know, 10 tracks in a month, and then the composer gets 20%. They're getting pennies for their music, and it's not sustainable as a composer to get pennies paid for your music. But that would be okay if they offered, you know, other prices. But there seems to be this trend to make prices simple so that you've got one price band or two price bands. And it's too simplistic, in my opinion. I think we should offer more prices. There's more music uses now than ever before, and some businesses and some uses need to pay more money still, even though there's more uses. But you know, other people need to pay less. So my view is we should charge less to YouTubers, and we should carry on charging, you know, sensible amounts to businesses and sensible amounts to advertisers and filmmakers and TV program makers. And we shouldn't devalue the industry too much. And unfortunately, there are some businesses that are doing that, and they're just stopping people like myself from being able to do this job as a full-time job. Now there seems to be more and more composers that are part-time because they can't make a full-time income from stock music. And some people are giving up. And you know, it does affect mental health as well. So there are problems with devaluing what is a talent and a skill. So let's look at some other aspects of my job. My aim is to spend 90% of my time composing music. That has sometimes been difficult because in 2005 I started a library called Media Music Now, and after that time, I didn't have the sort of sounds and computer power to create music that competed with other people, and other composers were offering to put their music on my website. And so I ended up spending most of my time running and building Media Music Now. And it's only in the last sort of 3 or 4 years I've got back to writing my own music. But because of changes in the industry and more competition, I now need to have more of my own music and sell more of that, hopefully, because selling other people's music on my website is all well and good, but I can only sell it on my website. And when there's maybe 300 websites now doing the same thing, it sort of dilutes my business a bit. So that's Media Music Now. So we also provide voiceover services and editing services too. So I work with voiceovers, and so I'll do on hold packages and audiobooks and things like that, and then I will edit the audio that the voiceovers provide, and we will kind of deal with the client and provide a whole service from start to finish for voiceover products like on hold messages and corporate videos and things like that. So that's an aspect of the business that takes up some time. We've also created another website called Beanstalk Audio, and that was to separate out just the music that I own the copyright to. Now, some of this, maybe 25% of it I've written myself, and the rest of it I've hired composers and paid for their music, bought their music out to sell as my own. Now, these people are happy to do that. That is the way they work. They're ghostwriters, basically. So that is Beanstalk Audio. And then as a side hustle, I do occasionally record drone footage on my travels, and I also take photographs, and I make those available in stock libraries as well. And I also design silly t-shirts and products that I sell on Redbubble. So basically that's leapy.co.uk. And those are my side hustles. But 90% of my 90% of my time is aimed at writing music. So with my own music, it's on Beanstalk Audio, and I've got some really good prices for YouTubers. So I've made it so it's really affordable. So you don't have to have a subscription on another website. And what I'm finding is people are actually going to save money rather than having a subscription that they have to pay every month, whether they use music or not. My service means you can download music really affordably, and just pay as you go. Now, yeah, granted, I haven't got as many tracks as some of the big libraries, but there's plenty there, and I'm adding to it all the time. So it's working out quite well in that respect. So that's what I'm trying to concentrate on. My job as a composer is a challenging one in the sense that you have to be in the right mind space to actually create something. So you may notice I'm sat in a field, and I'm sat in my motorhome, and I do try and get away as often as I can in my motorhome just to focus purely on writing music and discovering how to write new music. And that's where I am at the moment. I'm in North Wales, and I'm on a farmer's field, and I'm just focusing purely on coming up with some new music. I've just completed a course on lo-fi chill hip-hop music. Now, I can write that kind of music, but as I said earlier, I need to get faster and better at it. So it's no good churning out 10 tracks a week if they're garbage. So they've got to be high quality and good production value. So I've done this course to create a template so that I can make these tracks faster, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm building a template, basically, or a palette of sounds that I'm going to be using to create lots of lo-fi chill hip-hop music that can be used in videos. So I will show you some of that music as it develops. Just keep subscribed to the YouTube channel, and I will aim to show you some of the stuff I'm doing as I'm doing it. But I don't just work in the motorhome, although the motorhome is a great sort of outlet really to be creative, gets you back to nature. And with being in nature, I feel more relaxed and my head's clearer, and I can just create so much more effectively when I'm in nature. I do work from home. My home has a studio in the loft, so I will finish off tracks and do the production of them in the loft studio. I don't know why I pointed up because it's not up there because I'm not home, but you will see that a picture of that on my Beanstalk Audio website in the header, but I will also be doing videos from there as well. So if this is of interest and you want to see some of the stuff I'm doing, then do let me know if you've got any questions, and do stay subscribed. And also, if you want to use music on your videos, please do take a look at my website and see what I've got to offer. I'd really appreciate that. It does support me and helps me keep doing what I'm doing. I think you probably understand now what my job is, even though it's still quite confusing to most people. I think you understand possibly what I have to do to make an income and how many tracks I have to keep putting out there. So I hope that was informative. Speak to you soon.